Morning, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at techtrader.com. Let's see, it's Wednesday, the 17th of August. These are the charts of the day. Mixed day on Wall Street. I like what I saw for the most part in a lot of stocks, but there's quite a few stocks I want to discuss and talk about right here. So we have a Agilent Technologies, which went all the way up to $180 back in August of last year. And over the last course of last year, it's dropped down to 110. Nice base form, breakout, wedge, pop was a big one today, as it went from 132 to almost 150 on a strong earnings report, and it closed mid-range. But I think it's the beginning of a breakout move that could take this back up towards the mid-160s. APDN exploded 2-3 weeks ago, a rocket ship from under $1 to 7.5, and then came down over a 2-week period in a nice quarterly flag. Today, engulfing reversal day, and volume picked up a little to 4.8 million. It looks like it could make a move towards 5.5, 6, and maybe retest 7.5 and take that out. We'll see, but keep an eye on this one. I may have reversed. APRN, nice follow-through session, but it got up to the target zone at resistance here and backed away. Still, over the last week and a half, it's gone from under 3 to nearly 7. And right now, I look to see if this stock can consolidate in that zone for a bit before it moves on. But eventually, it might be a double-digit stock. BL, black line, beautiful pattern. As you can see, the inverse head and shoulder or V bottom of the platform here tells me that this stock has energy and could take a move, break out of this space and be a substantial mover over the next few months. First, you need to take out 79, and then your target is probably in the low 90s. Let's call it about, call it 93.4. That's my target if it takes out 79. Bluebird Bio had a significant news announcement. The stock popped, gapped, and then pulled back and closed positive, but it was up 62 cents or 9.4%. Traded 29.5 million shares. And if you take a look at the overall structure of this pattern, it looks like a nice base, almost an inverse head and shoulder, neckline, breakout. First target was met today at resistance at 8.15. Your next target, near 12. Big day for BWV. This was our biggest mover today. If you take a look at the 1-minute chart, you'll see that it popped. From the little wedge, we went long, and then wedged again from the larger coil. Broke out of the coil here, ran up and formed a wedge, and another one. And finally, at one point, when it got to $8, it reached my final target and then pulled back down. But looking at the overall daily chart, you'll see a massive move up today on 161 million shares, getting up near a resistance zone before backing up. But might see the stock extend. I wouldn't be surprised to see it get up to anywhere between 9.75 and 12 over the next few days and weeks. Maybe even as high as 14. Canopy Growth, our favorite marijuana stock. Well, it's been moving up nicely. Channeling. Problem is the top of the channel was hit today. Ran up to 430, backed off to 395, still up 4.5% on 30 million. That's the biggest volume we've seen in about 5 weeks, second biggest in about 6 months. So I'm telling you that this stock has more energy to the upside than you're looking at. And I think this is going to be probably 5.5, 6.75, etc., something of that nature. Cogent Biosciences had a very strong junior biotech group. Had a big pop today, 14.16 to 17.15, trading $16 after hours, up 185, still looking like it could extend. And if it does, and that's the top of the channel, maybe it finds a little bit of resistance here, but the extension target is 20. EAR exploded from under $1 to a high today of over 344 to 344. That's a 2.5-fold increase. Today's volume was huge, 192 million shares as it popped 42%. And I'm not going to be surprised if it extends and runs into the 5-6 zone eventually. Kirkland broke a major declining top line, declining channel. And here's a stock that was trading in the high 20s, and they got it down to 3. A big pop in the last week and a half has taken it from 3 to today's high at 7.19. Although it did back off dramatically to 5.80, it was still up on the day about 60 cents or 11%. Let it back and fill in this area. Your next target's 8 and 10. Layer Superfoods, a massive decline. Seen this go from the 58 range all the way down to under 2. Forming a coiling base pattern, and then breaking out. Today was a special day. Volume was 3.1 million. It's never traded anywhere near that. It's thinly traded stock. Next target, 3.5. Pets also may have broken out today. It looks like it did. It's the highest close in about 2.5 months into that gap. That gap resistance is now about 505, and that's your next target, followed by 8. RFL, a swing trade we put out in July and then it backed off and consolidated, is now on the move. This looks like a coiling base pattern. Today jumping 15%. Lightly traded though, so careful, but I'm looking for a stock that trades 3 3/4, 4, and then 5. TH, Target Hospitality, explosive move and now wedging. Just wanted you to see, it looks like it's setting up for another move into the mid to high teens. Peru, another up day. Now the 6th in a row. Got as high as my target zone near 24.5. It hit 24.55 and backed up a little bit, but wow, this has got momentum. And you might see the stock make a major move into the low to mid 30s. BRNA exploded a week and a half ago. Pulled back. This is a beautiful little wedge pattern. Love to see it hold right about that area in a falling wedge type pattern or flag. The breakout here could lead to high teens. And finally, Wolf Speed, I think this is formerly Cree, which broke out here. We put a swing on it, made the target, and then rolled over with the rest of the semiconductors. Recently, as low as 57.8. Today, 102.80 up. More than 14 points, or more than 15%. I believe that's going to extend at some point into the 120.25 range, but it may need to back off and consolidate. That's a look at some of the what I consider hot stocks at detectrader.com. Good night, everybody.